Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of What We Do in the Shadows. This is episode 6, and it's called Baron's Night Out. So, let's get into it. So, we find our illustrious crew in the meeting room, and they are discussing what to do with the Baron being there. He is taking up a lot of space. Nandor's not happy about it. There's a lot of storage space he's taking up, and it's starting to get a little ripe in there. And he's asking Guillermo to go get something that's, smells nice, with little green sticks and colorful on the colors on the top. And he says, "I love you." And he goes, "Oh, you mean roses?" And Nandor, "Yes, get a bunch of that." So I guess to spruce up the place and make it smell better. And as they're all sitting there, along with Colin, by the way, Colin's there too, the familiar of the Baron just bing, there she is. And so Nandor is like, "Is he awake?" And she kind of gives like a wobbly head nod kind of thing. And he goes, "Is that a yes?" And of course, it most likely is. So they all have to head up there. And then they're all not happy. I mean, I know Laszlo and Naja, they're basically saying that we're going to get killed. He's going to kill us. So they're not happy heading upstairs. They get up there. And basically the Baron comes out and proclaims that he wants a night out on the town. He wants to have some fun. So Laszlo proceeds to tell him, "Well, you can't go out like that. I mean, look at you, it's your face." And the Baron makes him float. And basically, Baron's not happy with what he said. He goes, "But we can make it work." And he puts him back down again. So before they leave, the Baron sees one of the documentary guys and decides to eat him. He eats basically the sound recordist. And it's funny. After he eats it, there's like a cracking noise kind of in the sound, and it goes in and out. It was just kind of neat how they did that. So yeah, and then Laszlo's like, "Oh, we'll take care of you." And Nasha's like, "How?" He's like, "I don't know." So they have to figure something out, and in comes Guillermo, scaring the living tar out of them. And they're like, which was really a funny scene. They all almost fell down. And he's basically saying, "You're being summoned by the Baron," and he's like really terrifying. And he goes, "Well, of course he is. We're all vampires. We're terrifying." He's like, "Not really." And he's like, so Nandor tries to like scare Guillermo. He's like, "Eh," and he goes, "Get out of here." So when they were there, they were talking about what to do with him. They're deciding, well, maybe we should kill him. Laszlo is basically, if he's going to us, then we need to him. Which is kind of funny when they were saying that, and Nandor's like, "Well, we can't him." So it was pretty good. So I was like, okay. So as they leave, they didn't realize apparently the familiar of the Baron was in the same room as them when they were talking about that. So not a good thing, not at all. How is she sneaking around like that? Is amazing. So they head over to the I guess where the stairs are, and wait for the Baron to come down. And the familiar's just staring at Nandor. He's like, "Why is he staring at me?" He goes, "Don't look at her." So the Baron comes down wearing this frumpy looking thing. It's just awful looking, and they're like, "You really can't wear that. You need to blend in." And he's like, "Oh, like a prince in the pauper. Yeah, want to walk among the people." He's like, "Yes." So Colin comes in, and he's like, "Colin," he goes, "Do you have anything to give to the Baron to wear?" And Colin, of course, starts rambling on, and he's like, "What size are you?" And the Baron looks at himself like, "This size." So they go off, and they get him some clothes, and they head out, night on the town. And the Baron has like this overcoat and red hat. He looks silly. I mean, silly as sin. They're at Tompkins Avenue. And as they're walking down, people are staring at him and everything. And one guy's like going, "Go Red Devils," because he has New Jersey Devils hat on. And he goes, "We are vampires." And not just like going, he's got to stop doing this. He's bringing attention to them. It's like, this is not good. And lo and behold, there's their neighbor. He's Sean, I believe. Yeah, he was hanging out there and getting some brewskis for the game. And he's like saying hello to him, and he's like, "Who?" And he's looking at the Baron, like, "Who's this guy?" And the Baron like makes him float. And they're like, No. He's the one who brings in our cans when we forget. So the Baron like brings them back down, and Laszlo tells him, "You were going to forget what happened in the last 5 seconds or 5 minutes." Yeah, 5. So after he does that, he goes, "Oh!" He sees him again. He's like, "Laszlo, who's this guy?" Does the same damn thing. So they head off, and they go into the Presence Bazaar. And as they're there, the Baron is talking about how you're going to have slaves and you're going to have food. And he's going around. They're just like, what are we going to do with him? And he comes back around and he has this little squeegee toy, this stress toy. And he's all enamored by it. So he wants it. He goes, just put it in your pocket. So he puts it in his pocket and they leave the place. And the Baron's hungry. He goes, what to eat? And this drunk guy comes across him. So he decides, I'm going to eat this drunk guy. And right in the street, and Nandor and Laszlo and Nadja are like, oh crap. And he's being very vampire-y in front of everybody. And the Baron gets drunk. And they head into an alley. And as they're there, Laszlo's thinking, I could kill him now. He grabs a stake, and they're like, no. And he's like, yeah. He's like, move. And right before the Baron's fine, so they take off. And he's like, I'm fine, let's go off. And they head off. It's like, ugh. He drops a stake, and they head to the next place, which is Elmer's Green. It looks like another bar, and they're hanging out there. And it's pretty funny how they're sitting there just... the Baron's mad. He's like, because this is no fun. He goes, the plague? This is what it's like. This is exactly what it's like. It's like the plague. And, he goes, let's do something. He goes, and he wants to do shots. Now, a vampire's version of shots is quite different than our version. You got shots. You have all the little shot glasses. And you take your shots. Well, a vampire heads into he heads into a bathroom. He picks a guy up. He picks him up, turns him upside down. And he's like, you want to do shots? So they do shots. And the guy is, and they're they're all drunk. And they head over to another bar called Bow Street Bar. And so they're all hanging around this table, and they're all just drunk and just, laughing and everything. And the Baron tells a story about how he's not really a Baron. And they're like, yeah, you are. He goes, no. He goes, it was given to me as a joke, basically. It's, they're being mean. And he goes, it's not Barron, it's Barren, Baron, as in he has no genitals to have any offspring. So he's sad. And they tell him, you need to pull your pants up. So he's like, so he pulls his pants up again. And so they move on. They head back out, and they head over to another bar. And this place is the Ibis Room, I believe it's called. And he tells them, that he wishes, he could have children and stuff like that. And he doesn't. He can't, so it's sad. So sad. And they decide that we could be your children. And he goes, he's upset how he is. And he's upset that he can't, he's got these urges and everything. And he goes, at one point I was going to kill you guys today. They're like, no. And he goes, yeah, I was. What's wrong with me? And Nandor, because, well, guess what? Because we were thinking about killing you too. And when he was going to do it, I'm like, oh, no. And they started laughing, saying, yeah, it was, something we kicked around, we're just joking, and the Baron's just staring at him. And he goes, yeah, this is Laszlo's idea, yeah. And then the Baron's looking at him like, he was like, what did you just say? And he goes, you were kicking around the idea of killing me. And they're like, now they're freaking out. And it's real quiet at the table. And the Baron goes, gotcha! You should have seen your faces. Needless to say, they scared the living tar out of them. They were so relieved that the Baron wasn't going to kill him. He goes, I respect you for the idea and everything. And he goes, you know what I want to do? He goes, I want to partake in the pizza pie. And they're like, what? And we all know from what happened with Nausea, vampires don't eat regular food. And they're like, this is not a good idea. You do not need to. He goes, I'm going to do it. And he just wanted to eat the pizza, so... Sure enough, he takes a big old bite out of it, and the crew's like, ew. and he's like, yeah. He goes, well, this isn't too bad. The garlic burns a little bit, and then it hits. And he throws up. And it's just not like nausea throw up. It's, his throw up is like a jet stream. He is flying all over the place. Just here and there and crashing into a dumpster. And they're just following him, watching him in the air. Just, it is the gosh darn funniest thing. He's just going all over the place, just all over here and there, and it is a scene like you would not believe. There's a guy behind them, kind of like watching too, and also on top of the rooftop, their familiar or his familiar is there too. How she got up there, don't know. He finally lands on the ground, so they think he's dead. They're like, oh crap, and then he opens his eyes. Worth it. So they move on. And they headed to this like nightclub. It's called the I think Zero Freedom Square or Zero Freedom Square, something like that. So they're in there and they're all dancing and they have their light sticks going on and I guess in a way they kind of blend in. They're just all, everyone else is not really paying attention. Everyone's all messed up anyways. So the Baron ends up feeding on a guy who's on drugs. And boy, does he feel it. So now the Baron's on drugs, and apparently so does the crew because they did too. So they all were just get dancing, and I guess their version of doing drugs is drinking people. And now they are high as a kite. I mean, Nandor thinks he's a wizard. He goes, drank drunk blood, drank drug blood. He's just saying that, and Naja's messed up, and they're just tore the pieces. It's the funniest thing. Nandor's just dancing around because he's drunk on drug blood. So they end up going into a karaoke place called the Karaoke Cabana Suites, and I guess you rent a room out and do karaoke with your friends. And the Baron is singing this old song. I can't remember what it's called right now, but and behind him is Naja dancing. It's just this weird swaying kind of dance, and and Nandor and Laszlo just sitting there, just messed up to pieces, saying how what a great night, but they have to get home because the sun's getting ready to come up. So Naja decides she still wants to start singing a cappella this old song. And the Baron's like, okay, we gotta go. We gotta go. So they head back home to the vampire residence, and it's almost morning. The sun's about to come up. So they head inside. Naja's wearing the hat now. Colin comes out and says, what's going on? And he goes, we're drunk, basically. We're on drugs. And so they're heading up. He even goes, have you ever partook in the pizza pie? And it was so funny. And Colin's like, what the heck? So they get upstairs, and it's the sun's out, and it's coming through these little holes, and the Baron's just dancing around these little holes. And they're like, ooh, you can't be doing that. He's like, ooh, I'm so scared. And he goes, and they're like, you gotta stop. Naja's like, look, you gotta head back and let's get in your coffin. And Nandor, same thing. And as he's trying to take his coat off, he falls. He falls down the stairs, all the way downstairs to basically the top of the staircase. And it's like, whoo, and he's taking off his little coat, and he has that squeezy stress doll he has there. He's just like, oh, my stress, and he falls right over the balcony onto the ground, and he's fine. He gets up, he's going, owie. And he's happy that he didn't fall any stakes, so they're all happy. Yay, clapping, he didn't fall any stakes. Hooray. So he's like, I'm fine. And just then, Guillermo comes through the door with the roses, opens it up, and the sun comes in and hits the Baron and lights up the place, and he becomes beef jerky. He literally becomes beef jerky. Just a big pile of beef jerky around the ground. Mainly, because just him open the door and the sun hit him like that and poof, dead. And of course, Guillermo's like, oh no. And of course, his familiar saw the whole thing, just sitting right there. And Colin's like, oh, okay. And the rest of the crew are not happy. They're like, oh, the look on their faces. They wanted to kill him, but I guess they didn't really want to kill him because they don't look too happy about it. So what did I think of the episode? That was the end of the episode, right? That's where they left it off, with Nandor just looking at the camera going, oh, spit. And he didn't really say that. So what did I think? This episode was so darn funny. It was hilarious. You guys have got to watch it. It was the funniest dang thing. With the Baron singing and Naja singing, swaying in the background. And she sings her song. Them getting drunk or high on drug blood. And Nandor being a wizard. And it was so good. Guillermo scaring the tar out of him earlier. And then Nandor trying to scare him. Because look, we're scary. And he's not. And it was such a good episode. I love those characters. Those characters are good. I do miss Jenna. I wish they would show... maybe they're building up to her. I wish she was still in the episode. At least we got to see the neighbor. So he's going to be making... Look, obviously he's going to be making appearances. So I'm wondering if the werewolves are going to show back up again. But for overall this episode, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. The Baron... I guess both the Barons dead now. So They solved that. So I think they're getting in trouble. And I believe in the next episode they have to go to trial. I believe. So I can't wait to see how this all turns out. This is going to be so good. But yeah, so great episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. I mean, again, if anybody's watching it, leave a comment and so we can talk about it. I'd love to talk about it. I mean, oh my God, it's so good. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it. And I will see you again when I do another review in the next episode, episode 7, of What We Do in the Shadows. Thank you very much, guys. I will see you again. Bye-bye.